AITA for laughing when my friend said that my lack of social media was a red flag. Oh, Sarah, I think we're going to fight about this one, aren't we?
We might, but we actually might not.
we already fought on Reddit about it, or on Facebook.
We did. Join the group. It's fun.
You throw away PQJD me. I, 21M, have no Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, or anything of that kind. I've read it and I barely use it. I'm currently playing the dating field. I've had a relationship before, but I'm looking for someone. I've been on 2 dates with this one girl, 21F, and it's going well. She was surprised at my lack of social media, but not turned off or deterred. We have a third date set up. Anyways, my other friend, 21F, said that some girls will see my lack of social media as a quote-unquote red flag. Honestly, when she said that, my first reaction was to laugh out loud. She was confused and asked me why I laughed, and I answered honestly by saying if it's a red flag to them, then good, because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for if that's what they think. She got offended by what I said and called me an asshole. I don't know why she reacted that negatively. AITA. I mean, Sarah, where are you on this?
We are, but the thing is, I actually don't think that we disagree on the main point.
Okay, well, hit me with the main point.
Okay, I mean, I think that the main point is like when you're talking about deal breakers, like a belief that you believe so inherently that apparently has never been challenged before.
Right.
If someone challenges it, your first instinct is probably to laugh and think they're being ridiculous. Like we have this all the time. So I'm not going to fault him for that.
You're not going to fault him for laughing in his friend's face?
No. I feel like you laugh in my face all the time and vice versa.
Well, I try to make you laugh, and that's when you don't laugh, generally. So I guess what I feel here is that it was rude. And it was, the thing is, first of all, let's just start with this guy. He doesn't use any social media. Good on him.
Except he does use Reddit.
Well, Reddit's for freaks. You know what I mean? Like that's how I contact my men's rights group. So... I don't think this is normal, though. I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's normal.
You're right. It's not normal. It's not popular, but I don't think that makes it inherently bad. In fact, he's probably better off for it.
Probably. Well, I have screen time now on my phone. And Danny my girlfriend has the password. I only get 5 minutes of Instagram a day.
That's it.
And let me tell you, I don't miss it.
Wow.
I don't miss it. Because I would get lost in those scrolls. I was easily putting an hour a day into that shit.
Well, my screen time is like you spent 7 hours a day on your phone. And I'm like, look, I don't need to be attacked. I didn't even sign up for this shit. You're just giving it to me.
Can you turn it? I don't even know if you can turn it off.
I'm sure you can, and I probably turned it on somehow. And I'm like, you know what? Ignorance is bliss. I don't need to know.
So,
but yeah, no, I don't think it's inherently bad just because it's unpopular.
It's not inherently bad. Look, living in an igloo isn't inherently bad. Living in an RV isn't inherently bad.
You're right.
A lot of things aren't inherently bad, but are still uncommon and weird.
The norm. But I don't think I necessarily need to come at him for the element of surprise. Like, all right, look, we're not robots. You can't control how you'd react in every situation. The one thing I do take issue with is him being like, if it's a red flag, good, because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for. It's like,
yeah, well, he was being a dick.
That comment, I'm like, I think I know what you're getting at, and I just don't like it.
That's just as insane as saying, well, if they don't want to date a guy who lives in an igloo, then I don't want to date them. And it's like, well, they probably have to be brought on board. It's uncommon to live in an igloo. It seems uncomfortable, but then you learn the ice actually insulates it. It's very comfortable. I'm working on building an igloo, Sarah. But
I always tried to build those as a kid, so I'm jealous, and I will come to your igloo house cooling party.
Thank you.
I disagree with the delivery, but I don't really disagree with the sentiment.
I totally disagree with this sentiment. He's saying if it's a red flag, doesn't a red flag mean it's a thing to be alarmed about? Well, it is alarming. Social media is very common. It's very pervasive. It's just as alarming and odd as if someone said, I don't watch TV or movies. You'd be like, okay, that's weird. Like, that's how most people are socialized and think about the world.
But just because I don't agree with someone's habits or that would make me not interested in them, that's not necessarily like a bad thing for either one of us. I
never said it was a bad thing. I said it was a red flag. What does that mean? It's alarming. That's what a red flag is. It's like alarm, warning.
Yeah, but I guess there's nothing wrong. I guess I'm having trouble thinking that there's something wrong with like someone not wanting to date me after finding out something about my habits versus like trying to make them come around. Like, that's what dating is. It's like you're just finding information about someone else and vice versa.
Right.
So, like, what is wrong with saying, like, if you don't like this thing that I do, then I'm not the one for you? And that's kind of what this guy is saying.
Kind of, but I feel
It's
like...
kind of like my mom is always like, don't you think that guys, like, reading your tweets about, like, oh, man ain't shit, or, like, this dude ghosted me, like, would be discouraged from dating you? And I'm like, maybe, but first of all, the tweets are all I have. And second of all, if you're going to be threatened by that, then, like, you're not the one, you know?
Yeah, I mean, to address that specifically, men who get butthurt by reading a tweet that says all men are trash, it's like, bro, seriously?
You are the
How
trash
weak
you
are
wish
you?
to see in the world.
You know,
No.
but also your tweets are deceiving because those seem mean. Those are pretty rare though. You don't really tweet that much. I don't.
It's only when I get really hurt.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Like, just kidding,
But
but
like,
not.
you're not mean at all. We've discussed this at length.
But
You're
I'm
like the least mean
I guess
person
what
I
I'm
know.
just saying is, like, if you have this habit,
Like, you've never called me trash. That's what I'm calling you
no,
out
I'm not
on.
mean.
You're not mean at all. So you're also misleading these men who are like, she hates men, and then they hang out with you, and you're like, hi, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. Here's the flower. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but hear me on this. Look, let's not go into that. Everyone can have whatever red flags they want, and maybe you're right. If it's going to be such a big red flag, he's alarmed. But it was mean to the girl he was talking to. That's why I view him as...
Why?
Because he was calling her an idiot.
Why?
He was being condescending to her. Because she said that. She said, some girls will see my lack of social media as a red flag. Right? That is a valid point. They're
That's
21,
true.
so like that's mind-blowing to him.
Yeah, you're right. You're not even on TikTok. Like, what are you doing, sir?
Right. And then when she said that, his first reaction was to laugh out loud. So that's a little bit like rude because what she was saying was valid and true. Then she was confused, asked why he laughed, and he said if it's a red flag to them, then good. Because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for if that's what they think. And I feel like she took it personally. Right?
This is what I think. I think he said something, and you're right. I think she's almost like projecting it onto herself.
Of course she is, because most people use social media. It's the normal thing to use social media.
But then it's like, why do you care what he's saying about that being a red flag unless you want him to date you? Like, I just don't get it.
Maybe she does.
Maybe she does, but to me, like, reading this on paper without any tone or whatever, I'm like, there's nothing inherently wrong with anything that either of them is saying. Like, neither of them are wrong.
I mean, I think he is factually wrong. I mean, I'll give you that he has a right, Sarah, to say that, oh, if a girl views social media as a red flag, then I don't want to go for her. But I would also be like, you're an idiot. It is a red flag. It's a red flag to me. If I meet a man at a party and he's like, I don't use social media, I'm like, oh, well, that's odd. Why is that? That's what I would say. I would be taken aback because it's weird, you know, to use no social media at all. I would be, yeah. And then if he's like, oh, you actually live in the woods, I'd be like, that's also very weird.
I'd be like,
Which
cool,
woods?
cool. I'm out of here. I don't want to get murdered.
Right.
I actually think I think that possibly more women would be okay with a guy not using social media because social media can create like so many problems and jealousy in a relationship.
True. Yeah, it does.
So I wonder if, I don't know. I just wonder if that would be at play at all.
But what I see douchey about him is that he didn't make her feel heard at all, and it was rude. I don't know that it makes him an asshole, but I think what's asshole-ish here is the notion that somebody else is unattractive because they view his blatantly weird behavior as a red flag, which is just another way of saying blatantly weird. It is. They're right. It is absolutely a red flag.
Yeah, they're right.
Great.
They're not. No, they're obviously not wrong. Like, most people use social media. That's an objective fact.
Yes, it's weird. Just like if you say, I don't like music, I don't like there's a myriad of things. Anyway, let me just quote myself. Now I'm going to weirdly read. I said, no assholes here, but it is objectively weird and uncommon. The notion that a girl finding it weird would tell you something about her is complete nonsense. You're the oddball. And the reality is that most people who don't use social media are weird. See, that's the other aspect here, Sarah, is that they are mostly right. Maybe he's one that's not so weird, but most people who don't use social media are a little weird. It's a freaky thing to do.
I don't know. I don't know that many people outside of my parents who don't use social media, so like I can't judge.
And your parents are weird.
Hey, they're great.
Your parents don't even have Facebook?
No, I mean now my parents have Facebook.
Of
like
course
everyone
they do.
has
Everyone
Facebook.
has it now. Everyone. Your grandma has a Facebook.
My grandma's dead.
Hey,
keep her
mine
name
too.
out your mouth.
Mine's dead too. That wasn't her name. What was her name? Grandma, that was her name to you, not a real name. So anyway, I think my point here is, without trying not to reiterate, is look, if you're weird, be weird. Own the fact that you're weird, but know that you are weird. There's nothing wrong with being weird. I'm weird.
We're all weird. I'm kind of more in the camp of Don S. He says, NTA, and your friend needs to learn that your lifestyle choices aren't a personal attack on hers. However, I would say it goes both ways, and I think that they're both right. And by also the same logic, neither of them are wrong.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
like I don't think she's the asshole because she got a little emotional and took it personally.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's wrong in being like, if you disagree with my lifestyle choice, then you're not the one for me. Like he said it a little assholey.
Yeah, well, and he was indirectly, even if she wasn't attracted to him, he is just sort of saying like, what you do is a deal breaker to me. That's kind of harsh. Like, that's harsh. That's a mean thing to say.
I guess I don't know. I'm just like
imagine I said that to you, like, oh, Sarah, the fact that you post so much on Twitter, that's like a deal breaker. I would never want to date a girl who posts so much. You'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's mean.
It doesn't bother me. It's like, that doesn't affect me because I'm not trying to do that. And like, I'm confident in the shit that I do and why I do it. So like,
yeah,
your opinions.
Well, they're 21.
Yeah, they're fucking stupid.
They're confident about nothing.
They're stupid.
You're like, oh, that's weird. You're weird.
You're
I'm
like,
weird.
oh my God, you didn't answer my Snapchat?
Andro Mache 97 with the top Reddit comment. YTA for this. And then he uses the quote that OP put here. If it's a red flag to them, then good, because it tells me which kind of girls I don't want to go for if that's what they think. Andro writes, it is extremely common for people to lie about not having social media or to keep the people they are dating from seeing their social media because they have something to hide, like a spouse, kids, etc. It's not irrational to see it as a bit of a red flag. Wow, I never even thought of that.
That's a good point. OP is being a bit naive in like him, because the one thing I took issue with it is him saying kinds of girls, and I think what he's thinking, and maybe I'm just projecting, is him thinking like Instagram models, shallow girls. And it's like, if you're a woman and you use social media, it doesn't make you shallow. It makes you like a regular participant of a large part of society.
Yeah.
So that is the one thing I took issue with.
Right. And I think you're onto something. That is sort of what he was saying. And I think that's why she was offended, you know? There's nothing wrong with posting a little selfie here and
or
there.
just like, it doesn't matter. Like, you all use social media for different reasons. Like, if you want to lurk on Instagram, if you want to like memes and send them to your friends, it doesn't mean you're all thirst trapping out here. Right. And even if you are, it doesn't make you like a bad person. Post those booty pics.
Yeah, so TV tie-in, you wrote. Michelle L said, on the preview for you on Netflix, the girl says his, quote, lack of socials, unquote, concerned her and he's a murderer, LOL.
Spoiler! But yeah, that was a loose TV tie-in. I found that after
Did we
the
just
fact.
spoil that for
No,
someone?
that's the whole premise of the show.
Okay.
I haven't even seen it. I know that.
I mean, I think social media is super toxic. I was telling you 5 minutes a day on Instagram is my screen time. And look, I don't miss it. I don't miss it. So I get it. There's
You're better off for it.
You're better off for it, you know? And honestly, if you start forwarding your memes, I know it's a lot of extra effort for you. I'd read every one of them. But I think that the problem is just the distortion field of seeing everyone's highlights. I think that, and that's always been the problem. And I think that problem got worse with Instagram. I'll say that.
Oh, 100%. Because now you have all these pictures. This blew my mind. I looked at this girl. She posted a carousel of like the picture that you think is on her feed, and then you swipe and it's the picture she actually took. And she didn't use Facetune. All she used was these preset filters.
Yeah.
She was standing basically on like a dirt, like, I don't know, like whatever, an expanse of dirt and like some grass or some shit and like maybe some water in the background. It made her look like she was at a beach.
Oh, that's
because
hilarious.
she edited it into oblivion. And I was like, this is impressive, but also scary.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally just standing on a patch of dirt.
Right.
And I think you're in Maui.
And I think it's extra hard if you live in New York because you're like walking it. If you're me, you're walking into the PATH station, which is like an enormous windowless, cold nightmare. And it usually smells like poop. And then you're looking at someone in Maui. There's always someone, you know?
Always someone.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever.
Anyway, I think this is a pretty low crime. AITA for laughing when my friend said that my lack of social media was a red flag. I think this guy's kind of douchey sounding. I think he should be a little kinder to his lady friend who's honestly just trying to help him.
She's trying to help. I guess I'm like, okay, you're not the asshole for laughing. I'm like, you're maybe a little bit naive.
Yeah.
Inherently wrong. I don't know.
No, I'm not going that far. No assholes here for me.
Yeah, same.